We're live.
We're live.
Yeah, we're live.
I think we're live. Welcome everybody to the NXT party for episode number 80 of NXT UK. I'm your host, the Rated R reviewer, Stefan Osborne, joined as always by the General Jerry Slaughter.
Good afternoon, wrestling fans.
And we haven't gone live in a while, but we figured since we couldn't wrestle up a guest in the afternoon, normally we do this in the morning and video edit and then post it somewhere late morning, early afternoon, and nobody's free right after the show goes off the air.
Seriously, we get told we need to start doing our show at a time more convenient to other people, and what happens? Everybody's gone.
Well, since we didn't have to run Skype through the computer, we thought maybe live would run a little smoother, and so far it looks like it has. Look at this. Look how smooth that is.
Oh, that is very smooth. Like a baby's bottom.
If I can figure out how to do Skype through the TV without running it through the laptop, we might start going live again, because this is actually working with the green screen. It's beautiful looking. I know I gave Streamlabs some shit, but apparently it was my crappy-ass fucking laptop. Let's move on. I'm going to get the keyboard out of my way here, now that we are actually live. Get into my notes. Earlier today, the Southwest subculture, that's Mark Andrews and Flash Morgan Webster, the man with slightly fewer names than I have, they are approaching Dave Mastiff backstage. We know what this is about. We already called this. Yeah. They needed a third man to be on their team for the six-man tag for the main event tonight.
Yeah.
Dave Mastiff is the obvious choice.
He's the only one you could really think of at that point.
They are tremendously outweighed by those three members of Imperium. We're talking Alexander Wolf, Fabian Eichner, and Marcel Bartel.
Yep.
Dave Mastiff is about the only guy, save maybe Ridge Holland, on the roster that could help them at all. And Ridge Holland actually has another match tonight, so that's cool. We get to see him again. It's been a few weeks. And it was a different kind of match. But we'll get into it. We start the night off with the match we thought actually was going to end the show. Ends up Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch versus Mike Hitchman and Jay Melrose, respectively.
The Hunt.
Boar, the Wild Boar, and the Primate.
The Hunt.
The Hunt. And this was okay.
It was a great starter match. We kind of already knew Lorcan and Burch were going to pull the win on it, but there's a couple fun spots in it.
Yeah, I've got one where Lorcan counters Primate springboarding into the ring and hits him with a European uppercut. But that's where it sets right up for the pinfall, where they do that draping DDT. Burch does over Lorcan's shoulder.
Their moves are so anticlimactic.
Yeah, they don't have any...
The headbutt from Burch, I think, was like the high point for me, because he just knocks people silly with that thing.
Yeah, Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch get the win, and I can't say I'm surprised. Why would you bring in Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch to lose to the Hunt? There are plenty of local talent that you could have do that. In this case, the Hunt was being fed to the Brit Am Bruisers.
Well, if anybody's going to make them look impressive, it's
the Brit Am Brawlers. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Either way, Bruisers, Brawlers, doesn't really matter. It starts with a B.
After this, we get an interview post-Worlds Collide match with Tony Storm. This is where this new interviewer guy, I like him. He's got good questions.
Yeah, he's got damn good questions and great delivery to him.
He says, what went wrong? Instead of, how do you feel about your loss, like everybody else would ask, he said, what went wrong? And she points to her head and she said, Kaylee Ray is still up here. And she said, this has to end, and walks off.
Yeah.
So, who knows what we're getting there. Meanwhile, Eddie Dennis comes out to the ring, and this is a weird promo, because he's not out there to hype himself necessarily, just the one sick move that he did at, what was it?
NXT TakeOver Blackpool 2.
Okay. I was about to say Worlds Collide.
No, it was Blackpool 2.
We've had a lot of great NXT and NXT UK matches the last few weeks.
So yes, we have.
Kind of blurs. Anyway, yeah, he points to the screen and says, this is what I did. And he said, because the ref wouldn't let me throw him into the turnbuckle, I had no choice but to throw him over the top rope. And I'm like, that's sound. That totally makes sense.
You know what are you going to do?
It's your fault, ref. You should have just let him throw him into the exposed turnbuckle. Now, Trent Seven comes out. He takes exception to this, and he calls him a cheater. He says that the only reason he won was because he did this, and he takes off the turnbuckle cover. And I'm like,
but he didn't use it.
He didn't actually use it, and at any point during the match, if he had you up for the, what do they call it? He calls it
Severed Bridge.
The Severed Bridge. If he has you up for the Razor's Edge,
yeah,
He can throw you over the top rope at any time he wants. Like, he could have won that match at any point that he got you up like that. And that happened to be the point that he got you up like that. And so that's where he won the match. And this is just a little bit stupid. But I like where it's going because it sets up Trent Seven to say, you know what, if this is how you want to wrestle a match, let's just get rid of all the turnbuckle covers. Let's just have ourselves a street fight. And he calls it a Steel Corner Street Fight.
Yep.
And I dig it. I like the name. And
this is no doubt where Eddie Dennis gets injured.
Yeah.
Because we've been told already, and we've actually already seen him give up the Progress World Championship because he gets injured at a live taping, which is this one right here.
Yeah.
So this match looks to be, it's going to be vicious for a main event.
It's going to happen. And he's going to get injured, and it's probably going to be the main event. And I'm wondering how it's going to end. Is it going to end with Trent Seven getting the victory, or is he going to fight through the pain, still get the victory, and it just not matter because he's got to go away for a few months?
It just doesn't seem fair for Dennis.
None of it seems fair.
But I brought this up too. If he's going to be injured and they want to still use him, I think he'd be great on commentary.
Well, he goes to attack Trent Seven, and Trent Seven fights him off. He rolls under the ring. And at first, I thought this is where he got injured, rolling out of the ring. And I'm like, that's it? That's bullshit. And then they're like, well, we're going to have this match. And I'm like,
well, you gotta figure Vince McMahon got a double quad tear just for getting into a ring one time.
So there you go.
Travis Banks, Eddie Dennis, and Vince McMahon just need to start a stable. The unstable.
So we're supposed to get a Tyler Bate interview or a promo or something. He's at the Performance Center sitting on some ring steps. And instead, A-Kid interrupts. And like any good mentor, Tyler Bate's like, what's on your mind, kid? What's on...
He's talking about how great his match at TakeOver was, and Worlds Collide, whatever. And like how he hopes to and aspires to be doing the same thing somewhere down the line.
And so somewhere down the line is probably next week because Tyler Bate's like, hey, let me talk to somebody and whatnot, and Johnny Saint and who never. And we'll have a match. Yep. You and me. How about that? And
so, spoiler, it gets announced at the end of this show.
And this leaves A-Kid stunned. Cool.
I'm all right with it. It's going to be one of those matches of like, you know, a whole bunch of handshakes and shit, but what are you going to do? And if anything, hopefully it'll set up the next feud for Tyler Bate, because like when you have two faces going at each other like that, chances are some heel's going to come in and wreck the whole thing.
Yeah.
So maybe Joseph Connors. That wouldn't shock me at all if Joseph Connors popped in, like caused some sort of interference in the match, because he's TakeOver worthy.
So in a promo video, maybe it looks more like a preview for a movie.
Yeah,
honestly. Aoife
Valkyrie.
Aoife Valkyrie, spelled Aoife. Aoife Valkyrie arrives in 2 weeks.
I like her already. I like her because she's got feathers.
She has feathers. This is true.
Yes.
She stares over vast distances beyond hills and mountains. I don't know.
She looks like a badass.
Sure.
And with the last name Valkyrie, you have to be a badass. Simple as that.
So Nina Samuels versus Isla Dawn. This is a match we've already seen. They reminded us that Isla Dawn is undefeated against Nina Samuels, and that does not change here tonight.
Nope.
I actually have several notes for this match, though.
That's what surprised me most about this match, is the fact that you were taking notes on Nina Samuels' match.
Yeah, I kind of enjoyed this match. I'm not going to lie.
Nina Samuels is a great performer. Isla Dawn, she still seems like she's kind of lost in the shuffle, but possibly with this win, she'll actually move somewhere in the right direction, possibly against Kaylee Ray. Scott versus Scott.
I might have liked this better than all the men's matches, save maybe the main event.
Yeah.
But even still, maybe.
I don't know. Like, Rich Holland and T-Bone started off pretty fierce.
Well, let's see. Nina Samuels had this handstand double heel kick where Isla Dawn was on the apron and she just knocks her square off, and it was just sick looking.
Yeah.
And then does a drop toe hold into the apron on the outside, like into the corner of the ring. And it just sick looking. And then does this backflip twisting leg drop in the ring. So Yeah, just does a backflip, and in midair, while she's on her hands, twists around and then drops her leg across Isla Dawn's neck, but only gets a near fall.
It was definitely the Nina Samuels show in this match.
And then there's the spot where she runs into the turnbuckles, catches herself on the top rope, springs up, and then grabs Isla Dawn with both of her ankles around the neck, right? And this time she pulls her face first into the middle turnbuckle. And then what does she do? Does double knees into the back. And then goes for a second round, though, and Isla Dawn dodges it.
You don't do that.
Knees first into the middle turnbuckle. This is where Isla Dawn takes over because she tries and hits a back suplex. But then she tries to climb to the top again, Nina. But Isla Dawn does that Tiger fake kick and kicks her legs out from under her. So she falls off the top. And then what'd she hit her with? Something. A Meteora.
Yeah.
So she goes up top, hits a Meteora, and then a half and half suplex. Half full Nelson, half chicken wing. Bridges it for the 1-2-3. Gets the pinfall. Isla Dawn wins. And I'm not surprised.
I'm happy for it, but at the same time, if you're not going to do anything with Isla Dawn at this point, it seems kind of pointless.
Yeah, kind of.
But also now we have this vacuum because there's no Jazzy Gabbert now, which means that they're not, even though the NXT UK women's roster is already kind of suffering, now we have even less people in it. So seemingly, we were supposed to get Jazzy Gabbert versus Killer Kelly, so I'm guessing Jazzy quit before they even filmed the match. So,
yeah, last week we only got 3 matches. I mean, I feel like that's probably why we got such a short show last week.
Yep.
Is they got rid of that match, and instead of having 3 matches this week, they just stole the match from last week's episode.
Yep.
Or just took the match from there.
I think they just cut off and just went with what they had.
Yeah. So my biggest note for the whole match is that the new female referee, who we haven't mentioned yet, is hotter than both of the competitors.
Pretty much.
Hotter than Isla Dawn, hotter than Nina Samuels, easily. But
shoulders up.
She's probably going to be put on the same diet that they put Jessica on, and she'll gain 15 or 20 pounds over the next few months. And
the seafood diet.
Telling you. They put Jessica on a diet so she wouldn't look hotter than the other competitor, than the competitors.
It's possible.
We get an interview with Ilya Dragunov. This was after Worlds Collide. We get a few of these, and
he's pretty much just adjusting his jaw and whatever else he can because he just got in a hell of a fight with that one dude.
Finn Balor.
Yeah, Finn Balor. Who we met in Toronto.
That guy.
Yeah, that guy.
Finn Balor.
Yeah, Finn Balor met in Toronto.
Yeah, he says that Finn Balor told him not to miss, and he said, "Did you see Finn Balor's nose? I didn't miss." And I'm like, I did see the ending of the match where you went for a senton off the top rope
and you missed.
Well, actually, technically he didn't miss. It's just Finn Balor got the knees up.
Yep.
So if his goal was to hit the knees, then he didn't miss necessarily. Anyway, he's got bigger problems. Now that his match with Finn Balor is over, Joe is waiting for him, and he has to change his focus.
Yep. So we're going to get, relatively soon, we should be getting Dragunov versus Joe Coffey.
Please let it be next week, but it'll probably
It won't be next week. It'll probably be the week after next.
Yeah, fuck. Anyway, we're going to get an interview here with Lorcan and Birch. Why are they here, basically? Because one of them's American, so he's like NXT. And actually, one of them's 205 Live, so...
Which is really weird because, you would think with the name Oni Lorcan, he'd probably be the foreign one, and Danny Birch would be the American. No. Other way around.
Well, they said they're a great tag team, and they want to test their skills. And you know what? This is the place to do it if you're a tag team.
Yeah.
Because NXT has got the best women's division, but NXT UK has got, I believe, by far the best tag team division.
Mm-hmm. Well, list them off. You got Grizzled Young Veterans, for the most part. You've got Imperium, you got Gallus, you got South Wales Subculture, you got The Hunt, you got the Pretty Deadly to beat up, you've got, what's the other team's name?
You got Kenny Williams and Amir Jordan.
Yeah.
You've got
the Outliers.
The Outliers. You've got Oh no, because Riddick Moss is now on Raw with
But how long do we really see that
Mojo Rawley.
lasting?
Maybe. And then you've got what are those two? It doesn't matter. We've listed enough.
Yeah.
If it comes to me, I'll tell you. And that's all I'm going to be thinking about. That sucks. Okay, moving on. Moving on. They're going to challenge Gallus.
Yeah.
So we're probably going to see that match. Otherwise, why mention it, right?
And that'll probably be the same night we get Dragunov versus Coffee.
Yeah, we don't get to find out when this match is going to happen. We just get the challenge, which is good enough for me for now. It gives Gallus somebody to beat.
It gives us something to salivate towards.
I don't know. I'm not a fan of Birch and Lorcan, but I am a fan of Gallus, so fuck it, feed him to Gallus.
I think it'll be a Smash Mouth match, and I think Gallus will actually make them look better.
Speaking of Smash Mouth, Tyson T-Bone versus Ridge Holland.
Yes.
Half or more of this match was them just punching each other.
Yep.
We saw some suplexes, probably more suplexes out of either man than we've ever seen before in a match. But the first half of this match was just them slugging it out, man.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking slugging it out. And Holland ends up doing two of those headbutts where he just grabs his head and traps it and then smacks it. Two of them. And then an Alabama slam, and then that Northern Grit, that snowplow for the pinfall, the 1, 2, 3.
No.
Before the match even started, I underlined Ridge Holland, and Jerry's like, don't do it, man, because we remember what happened on NXT last night, where, who was it?
Caden Carter beat
right,
Chelsea Green, yeah.
There we go. Oliver Carter and Ashton Smith. That's that new tag team. There you go. That was like 9 tag teams.
Yeah.
Or 9 or 10. That was a lot.
That's enough for a tournament in itself.
That's enough to split between Raw and SmackDown, to be fucking honest. That's what they did.
They could have made the Dusty Classic so much bigger.
So after the match, we get the tip of the cap for a well-had scrap.
Let's go ahead and say it right now. Ridge Holland probably has the best music now at this point in NXT UK.
Yeah, he's got the best music, and I dig the tagline. And Tom Phillips, sure, fine, you be the one to deliver it every week. Tip of the cap for a well-had scrap, lad. Great.
That's just awesome.
So here's where we get our notification for next week: Eddie Dennis versus Trent Seven, Steel Corners Street Fight.
Yeah.
I hope it's a really good match before Eddie Dennis gets injured. That's
that's what happens. He throws on a really great match and then he gets injured. So if that's the case, Chance already gave his all in this one, and it's going to be awesome.
And hopefully it's the main event. Speaking of main events, we are on to this week's main event: 6-man tag match.
We also got the A-Kid versus Tyler Bate announced as well.
Oh yeah, but you did say that earlier too.
Yeah. So we're going to have those 2 matches at least for next week.
Thanks for stealing my thunder, Jerry. 6-man tag match. We've got the Southwest subculture that's Mark Andrews, Flash Morgan Webster, with Mastiff, Dave Mastiff that is, Alexander Wolf, Fabian Eichner, and Marcel Bartel of Imperium. This was a pretty good match.
Oh yeah, for a 6-man tag, this was excellent.
I don't know about excellent. I've seen excellent ones.
Yeah.
This one was really good. It was a little great. We saw a lot of the same stuff that we always see out of Eichner and Bartel. I did like how we saw the lawn dart counter, but it ended up coming back into play, finishing the match in a much cooler spot.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how do you make that move look even more devastating? Well, they did it.
Yes.
And I will break it all down and I will get us there. In the meantime, what were your thoughts on the main event?
I like any time I see Mark Andrews in a ring. He's one of the very few face characters that I like at this point, because he actually, granted, he's got one move set that he kind of sticks with, but at the same time, it's just great to watch, because sometimes you'll see it coming. Like the second he went for, Imperium went for that first lawn dart, you had Mark Andrews counter that, but Alexander Wolf really didn't do a lot in this match. But let's see, German suplex, I think he landed on was it Flash Morgan Webster at that point? I think he landed on Flash Morgan Webster. About dropped him right on his fucking head. So I think that may have been a little bit of karma coming back to bite him in the ass because this was filmed before Worlds Collide, and he got taken out like not even 4 minutes into a match for Worlds Collide. So.
Oh wow! I thought we didn't have anybody messaging in the live.
Oh
chat.
no, I saw him on the screen up here, but it was Cleaver and
Cleaver and Mark.
Yeah.
We've got one other person viewing. Hello to all three of you.
Woohoo!
And anyway, Wolf hits a German suplex on Flash Morgan Webster.
Yep.
On his fucking neck.
You know, they even re-showed it. It was a nasty looking smack. It was just horrible.
And then yada yada yada. Mandrews counters a lawn dart suplex with the Stun Dog Millionaire.
Mm-hmm.
So
general rule number 1.
Eichner had to catch him, deadlift him, put him back up for a vertical because the way he does it, you can't just counter it. He has to throw him up in the air so that Andrews can turn around midair and come down. And catches the Stun Dog Millionaire. And then, let's see, we had a double suicida to Eichner and Bartel by the two smaller guys, Mark and Flash.
Yep.
And then Mastiff comes off of the apron with a diving senton onto all three of them.
We'll just call it Into the Void without the corner.
Yeah, basically. Now Walter comes out briefly, distracts Dave Mastiff.
Because Mastiff does the pose. He actually looks back at the ring at Flash Morgan Webster and Mark Andrews and does the quick Walter pose, and that's when he turns around to catch Walter.
Yeah, because they go up to the corners, and while Walter is distracting Mastiff, I think, Flash Morgan Webster gets pushed off the top.
Mm-hmm.
And then Mandrews gets down, and he goes for a springboard off the top rope onto Eichner, I think, but Bartel catches him on the top rope, much like we saw the other night, and throws him, lawn darts him off the top rope instead of the middle rope, top rope, into Fabian Eichner, who catches him, deadlifts him, and then drops him for a brainbuster instead of a vertical suplex.
Yeah.
They fend off Mastiff from getting in the ring. 1, 2, 3. Imperium wins.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
And then we have a stare down between Walter and Mastiff, which I'm guessing will be the next opponent now because people have been talking about it for ages that they want to see Walter versus Mastiff.
Yep, and now that Mastiff's momentum's all but gone, now put him in the match so Walter can beat him.
Yeah.
Sure, why not? That brings us to the end of the main event, and here on the NXT party, we like to rate the main event using good old-fashioned NXT. So, Jerry, out of 5 spots of NXT, where do you rate this 6-man tag match?
I'm going to go ahead and say 3 1/4. I'm gonna give it that because there wasn't really any implications in this match. There wasn't anything really going on. I kind of already had in my head the Imperium was going to win. But then also you have Mastiff, and I'm not really a big Mastiff fan. I haven't been. Like, he's a big guy, yeah, but his moveset really isn't that impressive, and he just comes off as another Vader knockoff to me. So, even then, I don't think he can do a moonsault like Vader did either.
Mastiff was just the great hot tag.
Yeah, that's all he was. And, like, the sad part about this whole thing was the fact that they couldn't find anybody else to, tag with them. There wasn't anybody else in mind at all.
That's true.
And if you're going against you have the tag team proficiency of Fabian Eichner and Marcel Bartel, and then you have the wild card that is like Alexander Wolf. You'd actually want somebody like not so much big, but more versatile than Mastiff. And that's what kind of took me out of the match, is the fact that I just couldn't get behind Mastiff as their partner. But now they're setting it up for Walter versus Mastiff, which is a match I can seriously still not care about.
I will tell you this. Mastiff did for this match about as much as Wolf did on the other end for the match.
Yeah. It might as well have just been Eichner and Bartel versus the South Wales subculture.
Still yet, it was a fun match. And we got to see all of our favorite hits from the Imperium tag team.
Mm-hmm.
I wish there was a more specific duo tag team name for the two of them. Because you say Imperium, and it could be any combination of the four, honestly.
Oh, they already had one. Oh, what was it, though?
The European Union.
Yeah.
Yes. So the European Union, they look great, and then that lawn dart off the top
that was a saving grace for that match for me, because that was just beautiful. We watched that move like 3 or 4 times.
4. Specifically 4, and then I think they replayed it, so 5 probably.
Yep.
Yeah, wow. I'm going to give this, I'd say it's 3 3/4. Yeah, it's almost great.
Yeah.
I don't think I want to call it great, because it was very much a standard 6-man tag match.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it was fun. You know, Flash Morgan Webster and Mark Andrews do their thing. To see the lawn dart countered with the Stun Dog Millionaire, I dug that.
Yes.
Because that's their finishing. Well, one of them. That's their signature move. They've got to do it. So you got to risk getting countered. You know, general rule number 1: never try a vertical suplex. Mark Andrews. Nope. But this is a special occasion. It was great.
Well, there wasn't him doing it twice in this match either, because that's another rule that we have. When a move works the first time, don't try it again.
I don't think I can give it an extra quarter spot of NXT off the back of a great show.
Yeah, so 3 3/4 sounds good for that anyway.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that brings us to the end of this episode of the NXT party. Excuse me. Thank you for joining us. If you would like to join us and actually have somebody on the big screen with us next week, let us know. Leave a comment down below with your email or something like that. Any way that we can get a hold of you. And we will... It says it stopped. Sorry. It's a good time to do this anyway. We'll get back to you. Or you can contact us. If you want to find me on Twitter, go to nodq.com/Stefan. That's Stefan. If you just want to look me up on Twitter, it's at Stefan R. Osborne, Osborne. As always, the R stands for restricted. You can also find the gentleman on Twitter
at General_JSJ. My Facebook group Armbar, all capital ARMBAR.
Exclamation point.
We also have a Facebook group for Aftermatch as well right now, and you can join that. That's a public group. And then you can find us on Instagram that Colin runs. So thank you, Colin.
Yeah, go to Aftermatch_wrestling, or find me on Instagram at osborne.stefan, or Jerry on Instagram at
Go ahead.
_gentleman_slaughter.
Yes.
All one word.
Yes.
Yeah.
Might as well.
With the underscores.
Underscores is good.
Yeah. You can also find us on Patreon at Stefan R. Osborne if you want to help out the channel, if you can do it like that. If not, if you just have some time, a few seconds, and shit, you just watched us for a half an hour or better.
Mm-hmm.
Click the like button if you like the show. If you like all the shows, click the subscribe button. Click the bell icon if you want to find out when the shows go on. Because surprise, surprise, we went on live today. So if you were free right now and didn't get to see the show because the bell icon wasn't on, well, you know, if you click it now, the next time we go live, you'll be there to see it.
Yep.
Maybe. At least you'll have the opportunity to watch us live.
Oh, absolutely.
In the meantime, if you want to share the show, that would be great.
Yeah, go ahead and do it right now.
We'll wait. In fact, I got something. Look at that. Let's just commentary our own video.
Yeah, there's us talking.
That's the old school set. Remember that?
Yeah, God, that was great.
Good times when we thought it was better to put somebody on a 30
Oh, yes. And we also had the 2 episodes of Fucking Night. Colin did a good job too. He sounds like a little bit of us everywhere.
We don't get to hear the music, folks.
Nope.
That's all for you guys. All right. Let's finish up with some more Finn Balor.
That's us. That's us with Finn Balor.
Greatest moment I've ever had outside of this country.
Yep.
And we're back.
Probably the only moment we've had outside this country.
Totally shared us on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or Smoke Signals or wrote it on a bathroom wall. Or tell your professor about it. True story. Walk into my my sociology class, and my professor is wearing an NXT UK hoodie. That logo right fucking there on a black hoodie. And I'm like, no fucking way. Somebody gave him this, and this is just his work hoodie or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
No. He is a fan. he has been in the wrestling business as like a manager and shit like that before. Like his fandom goes way back, further than mine. You know, obviously he's older than I am, but yeah, he is a big fan of NXT UK, and I'm going to try and get him on this show, whether live in between us or up on the big screen on Skype. One way or the other, I'm going to try and get him on this show. I think that'll be fun because he knows some shit that we don't know.
So he's going to be like the Midwest professor, or
the East Coast
professor.
The East Coast professor. The Mid-East professor.
It'd be neat to have like a professor, local professor.
Crazy. True story though. Jerry told me this. One of the professors that teaches at the college that I go to
is the kid from The Shining.
Yes. Yes, the little boy actor from The Shining. He lives in our town and teaches at our college. Believe it or fucking not. So I think that's enough time for everybody to share shit, and we appreciate it if you did. If you've already logged out.
Do we have any questions from anybody or any comments?
Oh, let's go through the questions. Yeah, we haven't done this live in a while. Hey, dudes, what's up? Nothing much. Rich Holland is a beast, says Mark. I am taking it too far if I said he reminds me of a young Brock.
No. Well, actually,
I don't think he's as big.
We haven't seen the athleticism out of him yet. We've seen the brawling and we've seen the power. But if you think about it, Brock Lesnar can also do a shooting star press. So,
Cleaver Colin Andrew says, can we get to the chops already? I hate to break it to you, Colin, but since we have nobody that was able to do the show this week, we have no audience, and there is no reason to do those chops in a dead space air. Nobody to watch, nobody to react. Like, that's not good television.
It's just not entertaining that way.
I would prefer to have 3 or 4 people in the background, all of which are prepared to yell. But at the very least, I'd like to have 1 or 2 people on the screen that we can see their faces when it happens. Something.
Yeah, so some witnesses.
But it's going to happen. Trust me. He owes me 3 chops. Or I owe him. However you want to look at it. Let's see. Any other questions? Let's see. Colin gives it 3 1/4 spots of NXT. Colin's still there. He says, damn it, he wanted to see the chops. I'm sorry, Colin. I do apologize.
Sorry my pain isn't going to be on the screen for right now, but it'll be, chances are, who knows, maybe you'll be on the show to actually witness it. So,
well, I know there's some lag, but I feel like that was plenty of time to give you guys opportunity to ask us questions, and since nobody did, we're going to close the show. For Vacant, for the gentleman, Jerry Slaughter, I'm the Wizard of No DQ, the Rated R reviewer, Whiz Fresh, Stefan Osborne, the man with way too many fucking names. I'll boil it down to 1 or 2. Thank you for having a spot of NXT with us, and we will see you NXT time.